Welcome to week 8 of MGT 5905, Information Systems and Technology Management. And so tonight's topic is information system strategy and global information systems. So as we move into week 8, we're going to shift our focus from individual systems and controls to the broader strategic question of how do organizations use information systems to compete, innovate, and operate across global environments. And the goal is to think less about technology as a tool by itself and more about how technology choices support business direction, customer value, organizational learning, and long-term adaptability. The most important takeaway tonight is that information systems strategy is not simply an IT planning activity, it's a management responsibility, and that organizations gain value when systems are aligned with business goals, implemented with attention to people, processes, and adapted to the cultural, regulatory, and operational realities of global work. Our agenda: information systems strategy connects competitive advantage, global operations, and innovation. This week brings together several course themes, and we're looking at information systems not only as tools, but as strategic resources that help organizations compete, coordinate work, and serve customers and innovate. And we'll begin with a strategic alignment, and then we'll move into competitive advantage in global information systems. And from there, we'll discuss implementation and adoption. And even strong technology choices only create value when people and processes are prepared to use them effectively. And then the final part of the session connects information system strategy to innovation and value creation, which also prepares us for next week's discussion of emerging technologies and artificial intelligence. Information systems create value when technology decisions clearly support business strategy. The first step in thinking strategically about information systems is alignment. Technology has value when it helps the organization accomplish something important, serve customers better, operate more efficiently, respond faster, reduce risk, or create new sources of value. Our course competencies emphasize the ability to evaluate how information systems contribute to competitive advantage and organizational strategy, and also align information systems with organizational strategy. And that means the management question is not simply what systems should we buy. The stronger question is what business capability are we trying to improve, and how will this information system help? This framing also keeps the discussion grounded. Systems, data, platform, and analytics are not separate forms of the business. They're part of how the organization makes decisions, coordinates work, learns from customers, and competes. It's the foundation for the rest of the session or the presentation. With alignment established, the next step is to examine how information systems move from being internal tools and systems to becoming sources of competitive advantage. Competitive advantage depends on how information systems improve value, speed, cost, and differentiation. So competitive advantage is not created simply because an organization owns a system or adopts a new. The advantage comes from how well the organization uses that system to do something better than its competitors. Our text, the Wood text, describes competitive advantage as the ability to outperform competitors by offering superior quality, lower cost, or unique customer benefits. Chapter 10 connects information systems to this advantage through improved efficiency, enhanced customer service, product innovation, and faster decision-making and supply chain optimization. And this is where the management perspective matters. A system may help reduce costs, but it may also support differentiation through better customer experience. It may also support faster decisions, but it also may help the organization recognize market changes earlier. And the point is to ask how the system changes performance in a way that matters strategically. And to make this more concrete, we can look at common strategy models that explain where information systems enhance competition. Porter's models show where information systems influences competition. So strategy models like Porter's help managers see where information systems can change competitive position. So after identifying the ways that systems improve performance, strategy models help organize where those improvements matter most. Porter is useful because it helps managers move from a general idea of technology helps the business to a more specific question of where does the system affect value, cost, differentiation, or competitive pressure. The the value chain model looks inside the organization at the activities that create value for customers. Wood explains that information systems can strengthen primary activities such as logistics, operations, marketing, sales, and service, while also improving support activities such as procurement, technology development, human resources, and infrastructure. The five forces model looks outside the organization at competitive pressure. Information systems can help organizations manage supplier relationships, understand customer behavior, create barriers to entry, differentiate against substitutes, and monitor competitive rivalry. The main point is that strategy models give managers a structure for asking better technology questions. Instead of asking whether a system is good, managers can ask where it changes the organization's position in the market. Once we understand systems influence competition, the next step is to look at digital platforms and ecosystems where information systems connect users, data, services, and partners at scale. Digital platforms create strategic value by connecting users, data, services, and partners. Building on Porter's models, digital platforms show how information systems can move beyond internal operations and become the foundation for broader business ecosystems. A digital platform is more than a website or an application. It's an information system environment that connects different groups of users and enables exchanges of data, services, products, or value. Amazon is a good example. Wood describes how Amazon uses information systems to optimize supply chains, reduce lead times, personalize service, and improve customer support through data analytics and technology-enabled operations. In that sense, the platform is not only a sales channel, it's a connected ecosystems of customers, sellers, logistics, data, recommendation, payments, and service tools. Platforms become especially powerful when they scale. The more users create more data, more transactions, and more opportunities to improve the experience. That cycle can strengthen customer loyalty, attract partners, and make the platform harder for competitors to match. And as platforms expand across markets, the strategy discussion naturally shifts from global information systems and challenges of operating across cultures and regions and regulations and infrastructure environments. Information systems support innovation by helping organizations see, test, and respond faster. So after looking at platforms and ecosystems, the next question is how information systems help organizations innovate rather than simply operate more efficiently. Innovation depends on the ability to notice opportunities, understand problems, test ideas, and adjust quickly. Information systems support that work by giving managers better visibility into customers, operations, and market behavior. The Wood text emphasizes that information systems help organizations analyze data, improve customer service, reduce costs, and develop new business models and services. That's why information systems are so important for innovation. They don't just record what has already happened, they help organizations discover what they need to change next. For example, customer data can reveal unmet needs. Operational dashboards can show bottlenecks. Digital platforms can support rapid testing of new services. Analytics can help managers evaluate whether an innovation is actually creating value. In each case, the system helps the organization learn faster. As innovation and platforms expand beyond local markets, the next issue is how organizations manage information systems in the global environment. Global information systems help organizations reach broader markets, but they also increase coordination and complexity. As platforms, innovation, and digital services expand, information systems increasingly operate across national, cultural, and regional boundaries. Global information systems allow organizations to coordinate work, serve customers, and manage operations across geographic boundaries. This creates opportunities, major opportunities. Organizations can reach customers in new markets, coordinate suppliers and partners, access global talent, and use data to understand performance across region. Woodtext notes that internet-based systems have enabled businesses to reach global audiences, communicate across locations, support e-commerce, and make data-driven decisions. The same idea connects directly to the course competency this week on comparing global and cross-cultural challenges in managing information systems, including standards, outsourcing, and virtual collaboration. At the same time, global reach creates management complexity. A system that works well in one country or region may face different privacy rules, infrastructure constraints, language needs, cultural expectations, security risk, or adoption barriers elsewhere. So global information systems, or global IS, is not only about scaling, it's also a strategy, governance, and human factors issue. The next step is to look more closely at specific global factors that information system managers must account for when systems operate across regions. Global information systems, or global IS, success depends on adapting systems to local realities while maintaining enterprise control. Global information systems create reach and coordination, but that reach only works when systems fit the environments where they are used. When information systems operate globally, managers have to think beyond technical functionality. A system may be well designed from a corporate perspective, but still struggle if it doesn't fit local language needs, cultural expectations, legal requirements, infrastructure conditions, or security risk. And this connects directly to the course competency on global and cross-functional dimensions of IS, which includes international standards, outsourcing, and virtual collaboration. The management challenge here is balancing consistency and adaptation. Organizations often want common platforms, common data definitions, common controls, but local markets may require different workflows, different privacy rules, support practices, or user interfaces. This is why global information system strategy requires governance. Governance helps define what must remain standardized across the enterprise and where local adaptation is appropriate. Without that balance, organizations risk either creating too much fragmentation or forcing a system design that doesn't work well in local contexts. That balance between enterprise consistency and local adaptation leads us naturally into the next issue: how organizations implement commercial information systems and support adoption. Commercial information systems create value only when the organization prepares processes, people, and data for adoption. Now that global strategy issues are clear, the focus shifts to implementation. How organizations turn selected systems into usable information systems can offer tested functionality, vendor support, and faster deployment, but implementation is not simply a technical installation. The organization has to assess needs, select the right vendor, configure the system, migrate data, test the solution, train users, and manage the human side of adoption. Our text emphasizes that process reengineering and change management are both essential when transitioning to a commercial information system. Process reengineering allows workflows within the new system, but process reengineering aligns workflows within the new system, while change management addresses the cultural, organizational, and individual impact of the transition. This also connects directly to course competencies on applying project management and change management to information systems initiatives and developing strategies for adoption, training, communication, and human factors. The main point is that systems value is realized after people and processes are prepared to use the system effectively. Once the implementation challenge is understood, the next question is how organizations balance standardization with the flexibility needed for different users, business units, and regions. Global IS strategy must balance common enterprise standards with local business needs. After considering global factors that shape system success, the next issue is the core strategic tension. What should be standardized across the enterprise and what should be adapted locally? Global information systems often create pressure in two directions. On one side, organizations need standardization. Shared platforms, common data definitions, and common security controls and consistent workflows can reduce duplication and make reporting, support, and governance easier. On the other side, organizations need localization. Different regions may have different customer expectations, legal requirements, languages, business practices, infrastructure limits, or adoption barriers. A system that is too standardized may be efficient from headquarters perspective, but may be ineffective in the local context. The management challenge is not choosing one side completely. The better approach is deciding what must remain common across the enterprise and where local flexibility is necessary. Governance becomes important because it clarifies decision rights, expectations, and accountability. With that balance in mind, the next slide focuses on why global information systems efforts often struggle. Not because the technology is weak, but because alignment, adoption, and organizational fit are incomplete. Global IS initiatives struggle when systems don't align with people, processes, and local operating conditions. After looking at the tension between standardization and localization, it's important to consider why IS efforts sometimes fail, even when the technology itself is sound. A common mistake is assuming that global information systems fail because the technology is weak. Sometimes that's true, but many failures are essentially alignment failures. The system may not fit local workflows, users may not understand or trust it, data may not be consistent, or governance may not clearly define who owns decisions and expectations. And this connects back to several themes that we've already covered in the course. Information systems include technology, but they also include people, data, procedures, and processes. A technically strong system can still fail if people fail to adopt it, if processes are poorly redesigned, or if system creates more friction than value. For global systems, these challenges become more visible because the organization is working across different cultures, regulations, languages, time zones, and operating environments. Successful implementation requires more than rollout. It requires alignment, change management, user support, and governance. And with these risks in mind, the next step is to focus on the manager's role in translating information system strategy into organizational value. Managers create IS value by connecting strategy, governance, implementation, and adoption. So after reviewing why global IS initiatives can struggle, the next step is to clarify the manager's role in turning information strategy, system strategy into measurable value. Information system strategy is not only an IT department responsibility. Managers play a critical role because they help define priorities, approve investments, shape governance, support implementation, and reduce adoption. This connects directly to the course. Focus on aligning IT strategy with organizational goals and understanding managerial responsibilities in managing technology resources. The syllabus also emphasizes skills such as aligning information systems with organizational strategy, applying IT governance, analyzing data and decision support tools, managing risk, and leveraging emerging technologies. This management role is especially important because value doesn't automatically appear when a system goes live. Value comes when the system improves decisions, workflows, customer experience, compliance, or performance. That requires managers to ask practical questions. What business outcomes should this system improve? Who owns the data? How will users be trained? What risk must be controlled? And how success will be managed and measured? With the manager's role established, the final content slide here can bring the presentation together by summarizing the major takeaways from the information system strategy as global information systems. Information systems create strategic value when they're aligned, governed, and globally adaptable and adopted. To bring the presentation together, these takeaways summarize the major ideas from information systems strategy and global information systems. The main message this week is that information systems strategy is not only about selecting technology, it's about connecting systems to business goals, competitive positioning, global operations, and innovation. The course emphasizes aligning information systems with organizational strategy, applying IT governance, and managing data and decision support tools, managing risk, and leveraging emerging technologies. Those ideas come together through global information systems because organizations need both enterprise consistency and local adaptability. A system creates value when it helps the organization make better decisions, coordinate work, serve customers, innovate, reduce risk, or improve performance. But those benefits depend on alignment, governance, implementation discipline, and adoption. Technology enables value, but people, processes data, and management decisions determine whether that value is actually realized. And with these ideas in place, we can move to the next into emerging technologies and artificial intelligence, where the same questions of strategy, governance, and value creation and responsible adoption continue to matter. Emerging technologies create value only when they are strategically aligned, governed, and adopted responsibly. After summarizing the major takeaways from IS strategy and global IS, the next step is to look forward into emerging technologies and artificial intelligence. The same questions from this week carry directly into next week. Emerging technologies and AI can create major opportunities, but they don't create value automatically. Managers still need to ask, what business problem is being addressed? What data does the technology depend on? What risks are introduced? How will users adopt it? And how will success be measured? AI, automation, cloud services, Internet of Things, IoT, blockchain, and advanced analytics can support decision-making, customer engagement, operational efficiency, and innovation, but they also increase the need for governance, responsible use, cybersecurity awareness, and clear accountability. As we move into emerging technologies, the focus remains managerial rather than purely technical. The key issue is not about whether the technology is impressive. The key issue is whether it helps the organization create responsible, measurable, and sustainable value. With that in mind, we can close out by connecting Week 8 themes back to the course as a whole and the work ahead. The value of information systems depends on managerial choices about alignment, governance, adoption, and learning. As we close, the main point is that information systems strategy brings together many of the themes that we've discussed throughout the course. Information systems are not valuable simply because they're modern, complex, or widely used. They become valuable when managers and organizations connect them to business goals, guide their implementation, support adoption, and measure whether they improve organizational performance. This week's discussion also shows why global information systems require a broader management view. A system may support competitive advantage, but it only fits if it fits the organization's strategy, the user's work, the data environment, and the governance structure in the regions where it operates. As you complete this week's work, focus on the managerial question behind the technology. How does the system help the organization create value, compete, coordinate globally, and improve responsibly? So thanks for your participation, and next week we'll build on this foundation by examining emerging technologies and artificial intelligence. And so again, we'll build on this foundation next week, and I do appreciate y'all being here for this session in this course in general. So you guys have any questions or any concerns?